Hello everyone, welcome back to the FPL Wire. This is Pras and this is my team selection video for Gameweek 20. I'm doing this on a Friday evening, so not much time left to the deadline, but it's going to be short and sweet. I made my moves well before in the week because after the Rogers suspension, the Cunha suspension, it was very clear on what I was going to do. So I will talk about it, but let me start with the week that's just finished. As you can see, I've not shaved for a week. I'm on complete holiday mode, but X haircut is high. So in the week, basically, I got 85 points. So another good week, good green arrow. And basically, what can I say? The bad luck this week was, Rogers getting suspended just before Leicester at home, Cunha getting that halftime sub, even though his team did really well. I think they scored 3 goals, 3-0, I want to say. And then the good luck was that because Bruno got the red card, I could bench him. And so therefore I didn't have the benching dilemma on who to bench between João Pedro or Rogers. And so therefore very happy to get points from both of them. So that was the good. I think the bad was, again, another little bit of a bad was Palace. I thought like Munoz was excellent. He had that huge chance that was cleared off the line. Sarr had above 1 XGI. So happy to have these two guys from Palace. But again, to get Munoz, I had to basically bench Robinson, who got an assist. I sold Rico Lewis, who got very lucky, I have to say, but still a clean sheet. So there was a couple of points lost there. But I think generally very, very happy. And yeah, Trent came up with a goal finally. His general play was he could have had a couple of assists. I think the goal itself was a little bit on the luckier side. There was a deflection. But otherwise, 85 points. We're up to 11.5k now. So decent, happy. But we've taken a hit. I've taken a hit now this week, which is basically, I will talk about it, but when I come to my team. So first, let's talk about the landscape a little bit. I'm going to basically use until game week 29 as the block. You've heard me in the past talking about blocks when I was looking at, before Wildcard, I was looking at game week 1 to game week 6. Then I started looking at the game week 12 fixture swing. Then the next one used to be the game week 18, 19. And I think now the next block is game week 20 to 29. And the reason is in this block, this for me is the snooze block. The block where you should not be doing mega transfers, short-term punts. It should be robust picks for long-term because you don't know what is coming up. There could be a Liverpool double that falls in 24, 25. There could be a blank, or there will be a blank in game week 29. You could be playing the assistant manager chip for which you may need transfer. So basically, this is a period where you should be looking to do nothing, hopefully. And so if I quickly look at the teams, like Man City, not many people have Man City picks, but basically this is the fixture. Like West Ham, maybe Brentford and Ipswich you want to hold on to, but after that, they're a sell. So Arsenal, another interesting team. I think we might see a lot of people reducing their Arsenal even from now. Like if you think of Arsenal defense, away to Brighton, home to Spurs, home to Villa, away to Wolves, home to Man City, there's not a lot of clean sheets there. Having said that, they're a very good defense, so it's not urgent, but you could see people starting to reduce, especially if they do well in the Carabao Cup against Newcastle, which is on Tuesday, actually in 4 days. So if they do well there, then people will already say, oh, look, there's a blank coming up in game week 29, might as well start reducing my Arsenal. So Saka out has helped, like I'm down from 3 to 2 anyway. I can see people selling Timber this week for a similar reason. Like there are other picks that are emerging that could match, especially in the context of fixtures. Then I think Liverpool are a buy. They have a good fixture this week, even though it's not greened out here. We all know Man United is a good fixture. And then, they have a good block. Although Nottingham Forest away is not the best, but after that, Brentford away, Ipswich, Bournemouth away again, not easiest, but Wolves at home. And of course, the double. That could fit in somewhere here as well. So a team that is a buy. I think Villa is a good hold or a buy, but who though, right? I mean, if you have a Rodgers and you have the luxury to bench him this week, fair. He's a good hold. Watkins seems to me more short-term because of minutes issues. So there I'm a little bit more skeptical whether they're a buy or not, but they're a decent team. If you had a Konza or somebody, easy hold. Spurs, not many people have Spurs at the moment, so I won't touch on them, but actually they're a decent buy in a couple of weeks. They will not blank in 29. They play Leicester at home, Ipswich away, Brentford away, Everton away. They're okay fixtures. So you could make people looking for a striker, could look at Solanke, for example. Chelsea are actually a decent hold. their home games are very, very nice. The Bournemouth home, Wolves home, West Ham home, Southampton home, Leicester home. Especially at the back end of this fixture block, Chelsea are good. So anyone looking to basically get losing patience with Palmer, don't do that. I think Jackson is a decent buy. Question if he's worth the price or not, but I think he's still a decent buy. Definitely a decent hold. Then Newcastle, another team with a very nice block of good home fixtures. Wolves home, Bournemouth home, Fulham home, Nottingham Forest home, Palace home. These are not easy teams, but they're good home games, and Newcastle, they tend to be good at home. And then the away games, Spurs away is not the toughest. Man City, you can argue if it's tough or not. Southampton away is very nice. So Liverpool away is the only one where I feel, 27, where you need to deal with them. But Newcastle good, that's why they're a buy. A lot of people are looking at Isak. If they're not, they're looking at Gordon, Hall, all good teams. Man United, actually, after this week, people don't want to hear it, but they're a good buy. Okay, obviously there's a pun intended. Not a good buy, but a good buy team, which is basically Southampton home, Brighton home, Palace home, 3 of the next 4. Then Spurs away, not bad. Everton, Ipswich. So it's a decent team. And maybe more people look at their assets. Maybe Ahmad. I know people don't like Bruno, so don't buy Bruno. Leave him to me. But it could be a team that could be looked at. And Palace, a lot of people jumped on them earlier. I think they're a decent buy even after this week. So they have Leicester, Brentford, Everton, Ipswich, all good games. And Brighton are not bad either, right? I mean, Ipswich, Everton at home, Bournemouth at home, Fulham at home, Southampton away, all decent games. So I don't think there's a terrible fixture here for Brighton after this Arsenal fixture, which is also okay, like when we look at the market odds. So that's really the teams I wanted to touch on. And these are the teams that I want to focus on and are the core part of my team and the reason for my hit, which I will talk about. So coming to this week now. Man City, highest projected goals, but equal to Liverpool. Like, who would have thought that they're very similar or if not higher? So Liverpool are as high as Man City. Then Villa are good. So if you have a Watkins, if you have a Salah, if you have another Liverpool attacker, if you have Haaland, all good picks. But I think after that, even above 2, both Fulham and Newcastle. Fulham and Newcastle, both good odds. So Raul Jimenez, I think he will play. So very nice this week. I think Newcastle, both Isak, Gordon, great. I mean, obviously the markets have caught on that Spurs have no fit defenders. Pretty much we know what they will put out, right? They'll have Porro on the right. They'll have Jed Spence on the left. They'll have Dragusin and Archie Gray. I think that will be the back 4. And that's not, that is not an easy way to defend a resurgent Newcastle team. They were absolutely on fire. I mean, they obviously thrashed Man United in the last game, so I watched them very closely. And yeah, they're very much on the up. And then Chelsea, Arsenal, okay. Bournemouth also okay. So that's that. Clean sheet odds, Villa good. Not many people have Villa defenders, but if you do, great. Liverpool, highest clean sheet odds against Man United again. So this has me basically benching Bruno this week, and you'll see in my team. Like, if Liverpool are the highest clean sheet odds and Arsenal are actually further down, quite a bit down than they normally are, they're not even top 5, makes me think maybe just play João Pedro over Bruno. But that's for when I get to my team. Fulham, very nice clean sheet odds, so definitely playing and Robinson, Castagna if you have. And people debating between Munoz and a Castagna, I would play Castagna. Like, I know Munoz has goal threat, but if you look at Palace's clean sheet odds, it's 15%. So it's still the bread and butter, right? Let's say you are wrong and Munoz scores a goal, which is unlikely for a defender. I know he's great and all, but a defender doesn't score a goal every game. But they still concede. With the bonus point system and stuff, it's basically like a 7-pointer, 8-pointer. So it's not the end of the world. Whereas Fulham, you get your bread and butter, nice clean sheet point. It's a decent chance of a clean sheet, and it's not like Castagna or Robinson aren't attacking. So I like Fulham defenders over a Munoz this week. And then even Bournemouth are good, like a Kirkes. I don't know. I have seen some teams with them. And then Man City, not too great, 36%. Okay. And Arsenal also not too great. Okay. So that's where we are with this week. And I think we also have the player odds. So, I mean, people have started ignoring the top line here, which is Haaland. Every single week he's on 1.14. Fact of the matter is, if he scores a goal, it doesn't damage much. Like, he needs to score a hat-trick now for people to actually start to take notice that this is somebody who can hurt us or start to build some momentum in terms of people wanting to buy. I don't think anyone is. So Then you have Watkins and Salah on exactly the same expected goals. And in fact, exactly the same odds for scoring 1 or 2 goals. But Salah has obviously more points for a goal and possibly better on bonus, possibly better on minutes. Although with Duran out, maybe Watkins plays 90 minutes here. And then Isak not far behind. So for people without Watkins, I think it's a fairly easy call here to captain Salah and vice captain Isak. I mean, if you want it to be a little different, you can go for a Palmer, but I like Isak as a shout. The only worry with Newcastle picks is what if, they rotate a little bit, not rotate, but manage minutes a little bit. Like if they're comfortably up like 2-0, then they take a Gordon and Isak off, because the Tuesday game, Carabao Cup, is very important. Like they take it seriously. So that could be something to watch out for, but otherwise good. Chris Wood is above Mbumo for goal scoring odds, which I like, even though his data isn't the best, but it's pretty decent. He's actually almost as close to a Jackson, which is nice to see. And then who else is worth talking about? Palace guys, not too high. Eze is actually right at the bottom here, but still decent. So that's where we are. Coming to my team, I'll read it out. So I've got Raya in goal. I've got Robinson starting, Trent starting, and Gabriel starting. So double Arsenal defense is not the best this week, but I'm done making defensive transfers for the moment until I have clarity on the doubles and the blanks. So it's going to be Robinson starting and basically rotating with Munoz. Or some weeks I could even have a Munoz starting. Sorry, Munoz and Robinson starting and a Gabriel benched, for example. I think then in midfield I have Palmer, I have Sarr and Salah captain. This is the first transfer that I made, which is basically Rodgers up to Gordon. Now, on the face of it, you'll think, why did I sell Rodgers, man? I mean, there was no need to sell Rodgers. I agree. It was more a case of that I felt Gordon has a good run of fixtures. I think there's no argument that if they were the same price, Gordon is the better pick than Rodgers. I have good team value, and I had to deal with Cunha as anyway. So when I was thinking of moving Cunha out, I could have gone Cunha straight to who's that? Jackson. And then I thought Jackson plus Rodgers, is that better than Wood plus Gordon? And ultimately I felt that okay, Wood is better or similar to Jackson, and Gordon is a little bit better than Rodgers, or maybe quite a bit better. And so in the end I went with Wood plus Gordon. I had to take a hit for it. But the idea was I needed them this week, right? Because Rodgers was suspended. I would have never taken a hit if Rodgers wasn't suspended. I would have done it in 2 steps. But because I needed him, now with this, this issue of maybe the Liverpool game and the Man United game is a little bit under threat, even more reason to do it, because I can't carry a Rodgers on my bench in a week where there could be further postponements due to snow. So I did it. Cunha and Rodgers to Chris Wood and Gordon. It allows me to bench Bruno as well. Like otherwise I would have had to play him. If he does well, fair enough, man. I would love it. As a Man United fan, I'm very happy he can score a hat-trick. I would love it. People would want him. His price would rise. Man United would win. Don't worry. So then I have Isak, vice-captain. He's the early kickoff, right? So I think in a week where there could be postponements, there could be issues, just captain the guy who you know or has the highest likelihood of playing or the game going ahead. And so that would be the thinking with him. And then João Pedro over Bruno, I talked about him. I was debating it. Even Munoz, I could start over João Pedro, but I think I'll just start the striker because Welbeck is out. Ferguson is out. So he's going to play at 9. Not that 9 is the best for him, but still, I think it's okay if he gets minutes. He's played 90 minutes last 4 games now. So if he gets those minutes, I'm happy to play him. So one last thing I wanted to say on the video is basically why did I pick Chris Wood over Jackson? And the thing that really appealed to me is basically this rotation between Nottingham Forest and Brighton, or João Pedro and Chris Wood. And the idea is if I move to a 5 midfield structure and I play all these 5 midfielders throughout, the idea would be that you would have one of Chris Wood or João Pedro playing every single week. So this week, for example, okay, I'm forced to play João Pedro as well, but ideally I would have only played Chris Wood this week. Next week, I bench Chris Wood to playing Liverpool, and then I play João Pedro, who's playing Ipswich. The week after, I could play both, but I definitely want Chris Wood playing Southampton at home. The week after, Nottingham Forest play away to Bournemouth, not easy, but João Pedro has home to Everton. You can see the pattern. Basically, I get a good fixture from each of these players for the foreseeable. Even when people say, oh, Chris Wood has bad fixtures going forward, when he plays Newcastle away, João Pedro is Southampton away. When he plays Arsenal, João Pedro is home to Bournemouth. When he plays Man City, João Pedro is home to Fulham. So I just liked this rotation too much. And I'm a sucker for planning. So when I did this, and I thought, man, this is good. So I can keep these 2 penalty takers for decent teams and basically play a 5 midfield. And I like this 5 midfield. Obviously I like Salah and Palmer, but I also like the fact that Gordon is pretty much playable every week now. Sarr has good fixtures pretty much every week now. And basically Bruno after this week has good fixtures. So that would be the plan. And this is where I'm trying to take the team. If there are no injuries, I'm hoping that every single team selection from now until game week 24-25, I'm going to come here and tell you guys I'm saving a transfer. Let's hope that's the case. Good luck to you all. Enjoy your Friday evening. Happy New Year to you. I didn't wish you at the beginning, but I hope you had a good break and looking forward to football this weekend. Take care.